Hi guys, it's Claude from Canine IQ Dog Training. Thanks for popping back to my YouTube page. Really appreciate your support. Hope you're doing well. I've been doing a lot of puppy consults of late, and the question of crate training raises its head. So I thought I'd put a video up today about crate training in a bit to try and explain why we need it. So the first question that I get asked by people is, should I crate train my dog? Absolutely. 2 thumbs up, we need to crate train. And there are 2 main reasons why crate training is important. The first one, it helps develop toilet training to another level. So assuming that we've done all the toilet training really well and the puppy understands how to start to hold its bladder, we need to start to build longevity. So once the dog has, or the puppy's got a good association with the crate, we can then use the crate to build longer duration between toilet stops, which is really important because down the track it needs to go all night, and we need to gradually get the puppy to understand that. The second thing about toilet training is that it helps us deal with separation issues. So whether we live in a situation where the dog's an outdoor dog or an indoor dog, we need to teach it that it has to spend some time away from us in the context of day-to-day living. And a crate can help us do that. So once a dog has actually got a good association with the crate, we can then use the crate to develop a bit of enforced time out away from us, and that can't hurt in the process of helping deal with separation issues. So the first part is understanding that it's important. The main part of the video though is about the processes that are involved that we need to follow to actually crate train your dog properly. Okay, so there are 4 main things that we'll be targeting today, and I'll go through them in much more detail after this. First one is we need to pick the right equipment. So understanding the difference between a crate and a cage, they're completely different things. The second thing is that once we've got the right equipment, we need to start to build a positive association so the dogs and the puppies actually like the crate as opposed to hate it from minute 1. So once the dog likes it, part number 3 is to actually then build duration within the crate. And I'll talk about how to do that. And the very, very last one is the importance of actually not rushing the process. Taking your time and going through all the different stages is really, really critical. So please follow the video through to the end. You'll find all the 4 sections relatively detailed and quite informative. If you have any questions or comments, please leave me a comment and I will get back to you. I will respond to all my comments. And if you like the content, please hit the like button, share it, share the love, hit the subscribe button, keep coming back to the site. I want to try and keep this as free as I possibly can for everybody. Thanks again for your time. Hope you find it rewarding, and talk to you soon. Okay, so the very, very first thing that we need to figure out when we're doing crate training is to actually get the right piece of equipment. So as you can see here, this is what's called a Vari kennel, or it's a crate. There's a difference between this and a cage. A lot of people go out and buy a cage. Now, good boy, mate, good boy. Now, cages are terrible because they have all the negative disadvantages of a crate without any of the positive advantages. So the most important thing about a crate, it mimics effectively a den or a dark enclosure for a dog to be in. And instinctively they like places like that. So if you notice little puppies when you first get them, they're potentially hiding underneath tables, hiding underneath chairs and hiding underneath couches. They like that security of being in a small confined space. And the benefit of the crate, it actually does this. So the very first thing that you need to do is to get a crate, something like this. And the benefit of this is quite expansive. Firstly, it teaches your dog how to be in a confined space. Secondly, it can double up effectively as a kennel. Now this particular crate for my dog, when he was a puppy I got a slightly smaller one, but as soon as he was 12 to 14 weeks I got him this crate, which effectively was for the final size of a dog. It was inside the house, got him used to it, and then this crate effectively goes wherever I take the dog. So if he's in the back of the ute, he's in the back of the crate, or in the crate. If he's out here, he's in the crate. If I go to a friend's place, he's in the crate. If I take him to a boarding and kennel facility, he's in the crate. So the constant, no matter where he is the crate, and he likes that space because he's used to it. Inside, good boy, mate, as if on cue, takes his ball in there. So for him, it's the most amazing place on the planet because you control what happens next. It's comfortable, it's inviting, it's safe, he knows exactly what's going to happen, and it's a part of day-to-day life, okay? So the first thing is, we've got to get the right equipment. Okay guys, so now that we've got the right crate, what we need to do is to try and get the dog to actually start to enjoy liking being in the crate. Now, if you're starting from scratch, the best thing to do is definitely not close the crate door. But have the dog actually do a lot of activities that it finds enjoyable. The first one is start to get the dog to be fed in it. So you might want to have the food bowl at the front of the crate and to start to get the dog to eat in that general vicinity of the front, and then gradually have the food bowl further and further back so the dog starts to not be quite so intimidated by being in the crate. There are cheat ways to do it in terms of just getting the dog used to your odor. So have something that smells of you located towards the back of the crate. Another thing to do is throw tennis balls in and out of the crate and start to get the dog to like going in and out of the crate. One trick that I really do think is fantastic, especially when you're using a crate like this, if you've got a dog that's obsessed with a squeaky toy, you can super glue part of the squeaky toy towards the back of the crate in the back corner, and then entice your dog to go in it and try and pull the squeaky toy out. Now, because it's actually glued into the back and the door's open, the dog spends a lot of time trying to pull the toy out of the environment, and it starts to spend a lot more time inside the crate, which is actually quite beneficial. This is actually quite comfortable in here, actually. It's quite a big space for a dog. So it's important to develop a long positive association inside the crate before we even consider closing it. And that can vary. So the dog needs to be able to go in and out of the crate quite comfortably and quite happily before you even think about closing the doors. And if, especially as a puppy, if it starts to get a little bit tired, actually putting the puppy inside on its bedding and let it have a bit of a sleep, and it starts to realize that this is a place that it goes to that's relatively calm and safe, and it will start to go in here a little bit more often. Okay, so the second point is definitely try and build a good association with the crate, and that can take about 2 weeks, and don't close the crate door. Okay, part 3 is we need to introduce a little bit of duration. So once your dog or your pup is comfortable in this environment, so a lot of people rush this and actually get it wrong. It's to actually close the door. So you'll find you'll close the door, and then the puppy's in here and having a bit of a temper tantrum, where the dog's having a tantrum and barking, it's carrying on trying to get out. Now most people wait for the dog to settle, and then they come along and open the crate door, and then they'll let the pup out or the dog out. Don't do that. What we want to do is to develop a long association with being in here and make the puppy realize that it's not about getting out, it's about getting attention. So let's go through that again. So the puppy's in, it's barking, it's carrying on, and all of a sudden it stops. We're waiting for a quiet patch. Come over, open the door, give it a bit of a pat, bit of a treat, make it feel good, give it your attention, then close it again. The puppy goes, hang on, but I want it to come out. No, just keep the puppy in there, has a bit of another meltdown, wait for it to be calm, come over, again, give the puppy or your dog a bit more attention, a bit more affection, and then just wait for the pup to settle down again, close the door, and then what the puppy starts to realize, well, it's not about getting out, it's actually quite a comfortable space in here, and the minute that I'm actually calm, I'm getting attention from you inside the crate. So the dog starts to get much better association with being in here. And then after a few attempts, it will actually stop barking and it might just relax. So in the early stages, if we're trying to work on, say, 5 minutes of nice calm behavior, when it's actually then nice and calm and it's relaxed, you can then come up, give it a bit of a pat inside the crate, and then let it out. And the trick is, when you let it out, don't give it as much attention as what you did when you had it in the crate. So we're trying to develop this association that the crate is far more beneficial than being outside. So the third step in the process is build duration, but reward the dog inside the crate, which is really, really important. Okay, so we've got the right crate. We've developed a positive association with it. We've built duration over time. The last and probably the most important tip, and this is one that you really need to follow, is do not rush the process. Too many people start from day one trying to lock the puppy in or the dog inside the crate, and all of a sudden, once you've got a bad association with an environment like this, it's very, very hard to undo it. So taking your time and building a positive association first is absolutely fundamental. Do not rush that step. And once the pup has got that good association with it, then closing it's a natural extension. And when we do close, we're trying to reward the pup or the dog inside the crate and build slightly longer duration. So it could be 5 minutes, then 10, then 15, then 20, and gradually get the duration longer and longer over the period of time. But do not rush the process. Take as much time as you can, and once the dog has actually developed a positive association with being in an environment like this, you'll probably have a hard time getting the dog out of it. My dog loves the crate to the point that he just can't leave it if if it's in this backyard, he just loves being in this particular space because it's safe and it's insular and he's quite comfortable in it. Okay, so last step, don't rush the process. As always, a big thank you for watching my channel. To keep the information free and help share the videos, please hit the subscribe and like button so we can share the message with everybody. To stay in touch, just hit the bell button so that you can be advised of future notification. Thanks again, guys.